Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely day in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. Just coming today on this blessed Sabbath day to give you a little something, a little message. And I hope that it is, I say, medicine to the women that's out there, to help encourage them that they need to step out in their purpose and work in the body of Hamashiach to do their part. Don't be taken by what has been taught to you, and you best understood it. Yah is giving you a chance to now learn of him and understand that a lot of things been tampered with in this book that has to do with a lot of our men switching it, adding, taking away, and hands all in it. I want you to understand the Most High Yah always warned us about our forefathers. That means our males. He also warned us from the beginning to the end about our males. He has always did that, but we have been so deceived as females and women to where we have not stepped in our purpose in Yah, nor have we recognized that we are a part of the body of Christ, letting Christ be the head. And we're somewhere founded in the body. You hear a lot of things going on. Even I did a study last week when I was studying, and how everything that's in error comes from the father to the son, or the fathers to the children. And if anything error in the son, it's always a bitterness or sadness to the mother that buried him. So that leads me to understand that it's a lot of things in this biblical that we have allowed males to deceive us in without even studying and showing ourselves approved, rightly dividing the word of truth in the midst of the Most High Yah, as he allowed his Holy Spirit to lead us and guide us. I'm coming out of the book of Genesis, and this is going to help a lot of women today. And I'm coming out of the first chapter of Genesis, and it's like the beginning. I'm telling you something. He said, Deborah, if they miss it in the beginning, they gonna miss it from that day on. You can't get spirit and truth jumping in the New Testament and going to Revelation and just jumping all over the place. You have to go into Genesis and read the first book of Genesis, highlight what is coming out of the mouth of Yah, or what Yah is saying in purple or blue, light blue, so that you can go back and you can read it and you realize that how much man has tampered with this book called the King James book. It is a lot of things that has been added and taken away, and words been replaced with words that doesn't sound like the beginning in which Yah created versus what he said and his intent. All of a sudden you hear man switched it, and they say this and they adding into it and they taking away. But I'm Sister Deborah, we finna go over this here, and it's really going to cover some good news for the women of why they want you to keep quiet. There is a reason why the men are portraying a role that women are to be silent and to keep quiet, and they're enhancing it even greater in this day and time. And I see our women just buckling up, not caring about how they look. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of our women are depressed and stressed, trying to play the role and trying to live a role according to what man says, and they have forsaken what came out of the mouth of Yah. And Sister Deborah is about to take you there to let you realize that a lot of this stuff men been telling you. How can they tell you something when Yah said that they are their forefathers? They are stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient. He didn't say mothers. You notice that? He didn't say anything that has taken place that really is weighing heavy on the women at all. When he get to telling you about, now listen to this. last week I was doing a study that kind of got me really emotional. I was really emotional because he was telling, I was reading all these verses where he's saying to the father how to work with the son and how he is to deal with his children and how he is to discipline his children and don't discipline his children that cause his children to wrath, and just all kind of things. And in it, he always was, in these verses was small tokens saying if the children is not in order with the father like they should supposed to, then they're going to bring bitterness to the mother and they're going to cause hardship to the mother, never saying that the mother is applying these things to the children. So that leads me to believe that for too many thousands of years, men has blamed us for the way that their own children, their own seed has conducted himself without understanding that child is of you. He is of you in your ways. They are truly the father's children, and they don't understand that. And the father's is truly his father's children. So they can come on down the line to the father, to the fathers, to the fathers, to the fathers. And that's why we're over here right now, is because they are in full denial that their father ever did anything. Even to today, they have never did a face on with their fathers and saw the ugliness of their men back in those days, even back in the biblical days, way back in the beginning. They refused to even study it and really embrace it so that they can know how to move today. So they're a product of yesterday trying to tell you something today. A lot of women don't understand. If a man does not have his flesh under to subjection to his spirit, you are not to be falling behind him in his flesh. Most of the women are so eager to have a man in their bed and to have a man in their house and to have a man present. They really thinking they're fulfilling the will of the Father, and they're not. They really don't understand. You're not going to be judged on the things that man has set you up to please his flesh. You're going to be judged on the things that you did in your spirit that didn't please Yah. And because when you stand before Yah, he's not going to say your husband and your husband was you submissive. Those are the things that's not in the commandment. Those are the things. He's not going to ask you, did you eat this right? No, he's not going to tell you that. He knows the order in which he created everything. Either you follow that order or you astray and you go into the order that satisfies you, and then it causes you to suffer in the way and in what that which you are pleasing to satisfy, which is your flesh. Now we're going to go to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, and we're going to cover some of these ideas of what has been manipulated into our women's heads. And I say today, the Most High shared with me that it was a reason why he called a lot of entities female entities, because he was trying to show the men the love that he had for us as his image and likeness as a female. And because of that, he still could not get them to meditate and focus on why is it that this creator labored us as daughters? Why is it that this creator labored us as women? Why is it that the creator labored us as brides? They don't get it. He had to label them that to try to draw them to the importance of a woman. See, because what happened is when he started and he created everything, he created them as one. Everything Yah does when he bringing things into one power, one authority, one unity, he always wants to stick to that. And what has happened is they have taught these men in this last days to be separate from unifying with the one that Yah is looking for you to become one. He's not looking for you to become one with all these Hebrew Israelites, tribe of Judah, the 12 tribes. A lot of our men are so weakened and so vulnerable. They just take to anything that makes them feel that they something, or they identify with men. And they do not understand. They're riding they're on a skateboard that's really dangerous, and it has its own way. So what happened, they don't understand that they have been out of order. Of what order? The order in which Yah had created it, and they have taken the woman out of that order and the children, to where you're seeing the product of who they have portrayed all these years, even to the year 2020. So that's where we at, and the suffering and the great turmoil, we're all going to experience it. But I learned something last night as the Spirit was dealing with me while I was lying down in the midnight hour. There is something about you women. It's something about you women that Yah has invested in you. He have invested something so powerful in you, and you ain't even about near what he has prepared for you. Because he have dealt throughout the Genesis all the way to Revelation with males. He have destroyed them by great numbers. And I'm talking about the tribe, Jacob's children. I'm talking about the Israel and the tribe of Judah. If they study the book, women, and they won't study it, nor would they teach you, it's because they want you under this captivity under them, just as the heathen has had them under captivity. Why? It's because women, you never knew, they always had you under captivity. You were sold back before they even got over here to anybody that wants you. If they would bring funds and give them money and give the father or the brother or the uncle, whoever, the man in the area, if they gave it, you had to go to that man. You see, so they were selling you. Who gave them that authority? Who gave them that right? Not Yah. Because Yah said in the beginning, he made him and her in his image and his likeness. Now, are we the image of man, or are we the image of Yah? We are the image and the likeness of Yah in a spirit. Okay? We are the image and the likeness of Yah in a spirit. We are our Father's children in the flesh. The flesh is what he say, man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. So that evil is the flesh of man that we all have become partaker in. Now we have to find who are we in the part that says good, evil, and good. And that is the part of our spirit, the light in which Yah has embedded in us. So women, I want to share something with you that's so important that you take heed to what I'm about to say, and just follow me through the verses and not tell me, but get under what I'm about to say, and just have an ear to hear, and you'll find out all these things has been a lie. Even in this book, men has taken it and smeared it with all kind of things to fit what they want you to believe and what they want to characterize as the way you're supposed to walk, talk, eat, look, think, feel. And guess what? You are being deceived, because the way Yah lined them up in the beginning, like when Yeshua was among them, they try to tell him what Moses said about getting a written decree so they could send their wives off. Now, it was always about what pleases the man. They never did anything that category the woman as even. Yah has created us in his likeness and in his image as one. That's why he said a man should leave his mother and father, which are one, and cleave to his wife, and they become one. Just as they came out of Yah, he and her, as one coming out. When he spoke these things into power, he brought them into one. Let's go there. Genesis 1, verse 26. Genesis 1, verse 26. And Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. So women, when you're trying to find your image and the way that you are pleasing to Yah. You are in his image in your spirit. So if you're not worried about your image and your likeness that represents Yah in your spirit, how dare you let men trap you on the way you should walk, talk, look, rap, wear this, say this, do this. They can't, because your image of Yah is your spirit, is that light that he has invested in you. That's the image that represents Yah. That's the image in Yah's likeness. We know Yah's likeness and image is not flesh. No one can even worship him, women, in your flesh. That means you can't tie your head up tight. You can't wear a long dress all the way to the ground and cover your arms and wear all these jewelry. Like the Bible says, none of all this jewelry they making, that's a game. That's a cover up. Y'all said all that jewelry, if it can't speak of him, don't write his name on it. Don't proclaim that it represents him. He said it can't speak. He said silver and gold. You know how people wear them crosses and all them chain and with all this crosses trying to represent, trying to say they represent. And y'all say that stuff that can't speak for him. That stuff can't worship him. That stuff can't honor him. So don't go getting caught up in it. So they so busy trying to make you appear like they want to feel the authority that they got you appearing to look like. And that's on your choice, because Yah is concerned about your spirit, the part of you that is in his likeness and in his image. Okay, so here in verse 26 of Genesis, Yah said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them. So women, when he said them, everything Yah's about to say in Genesis when he was creating, it is sealed. It's nothing no one can say from Genesis and go into here and wipe it all away and change it and then tell you it's like that. Anybody that's saying that is because they know that for so many years they were able to teach women, lead them based on their interpretation or their way they want to put this word, so it can keep you trapped in your identity and who you're supposed to be representing in the order in which you're to represent Yah, in the order in which he created you. That's why they don't want to take you too far in Genesis. And now you hear some of the honest men say Genesis is such a good book. It is. It is a wonderful book. It is a book that leads you to spirit and truth, so you can find what really took place. Why are we doing this and why are we doing that? Oh, they don't want you to find that. That's why they like to go over into the other one where Paul and Peter and those are talking, because they saying things that comes out of their flesh. A lot of things they're not saying that comes out of the mouth of Yah, because it don't come on one accord. And Sister Deborah is going to show you that. So when we go into Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26, and Yah said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Now, how did Yah make and created woman and man to have dominion, and all that been taken away from women for thousands of years? Women had become cattle. They have become property to sell, to get items for sexual desires. They converted you all up and down out of the order in which Yah has created you. Now, how did you lose your dominion, your having dominion over the fish of the sea? We in 26. And over the fowls of the air and over the cattle. Over the cattle, women, male and female. That's what Yah put you over. Listen to this. And over all the earth, women. And over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, women. Now listen to verse 27. So Yah created man in his own. Man is male and female. Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. So you are not the image of man. You are not the image of man that Yah said he created. See, you got to go back to the Father's bosom, not back to the bosom of man. He created you with a spirit of his own image. So that's why you have to go back. That's why Sister talks heavy about your spirit. You have to go back and find your true identity, so you can stop role playing on the outside and get busy on who you are on the inside, and not let these men get dominion over you on the outside, and then your inside soul sails over to your outer man. You know, because you don't know how to dig in deep and line up with Yah, spirit and truth. So he said in verse 27, so Yah created man in his own image. And what is his image? He's a spirit. Okay. And in the image of Yah created he Male and female, he created them. So when he's doing this creation, he's doing it with all power of us, which is his right hand power. And he's creating these things. Anything that man tells you outside of what took place in the beginning, it is out of order. Just as easy as Yeshua said to them that tried to tell him what Moses said. And Yeshua told him, have you not read from the beginning? That wasn't so. So Yeshua was just taking them back all the way back to the beginning. And telling him that's not how Yah created a man and a woman. He created a man that leaves his mother and his father and cleaves to his wife, and they become one. Now, I don't care about who you saw Abraham. I saw Abraham selling off Sarah for a sexual desire to a king because of her beauty and didn't say a word. You see, I saw even his son Isaac do likewise. Didn't say a word, all in the name of they want the materialistic things that their wife was able to gain if they weren't to tell truth. So if I don't tell them that's my wife, then therefore I'm not going to be able to get what I want, the materialistic things that I need. So let me just go on and do that. I don't care if he lay down with Sarah. I don't care if he lay down with Isaac's wife. They didn't care. They wanted what they wanted. They wanted the items that they wanted, and they didn't. And because of Yah, knowing that he had appointed this woman with this one man, and this woman Isaac with his one wife, was appointed by Yah. So that's why Yah came to the king when Abraham took a wife, Sarah, and told the king, don't he do that? He confronted the king. And the king said, look what he has done. In a sense, Abraham set him up. And he did. He really did. That's just showing you that everything that you see and read in the Bible, don't make it sugar cane. Don't make them all good and all that. You got to see them as human beings. And you got to see what they're saying. Is it matching up with what came out of the mouth of Yah? Okay. Now, let's go to 28, Genesis 1 and 28. And God and Yah blessed them. Now see, Yah blessed them, male and female. See, he blessed them. Listen here. Yah blessed not him, he blessed them. So, and Yah said unto them, he said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. So that was the purpose of them coming together as one. To replenish, let's go back there, to be fruitful, to multiply and replenish the earth. That's why they came as one. So woman was not created for man as they teaches you all. Or they lost the truth of the word of the Most High Yah. They lost what comes out of the mouth of Yah. They want to tell you that woman was created for this. Let's go there. Let's go to Corinthians 1 and 11. Let's go on and let's go on and go there. Let's go on there. Corinthians chapter 1 of Corinthians 1, chapter 11, verse 8 and 9. Now listen to this. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 8 and 9. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created before for the woman, but the woman for the man. All of that is a lie. Listen to this here. Listen at verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. What kind of stuff is that? Let's go back to Genesis. Listen to this. Now this is out of the mouth of Yah. That Corinthians is out of the mouth of man. See how they convert what Yah said and into what that which for thousands of years pleases them. And Yah has stood back all these years, allowing them to do it because he had already prophesied the things that will go on. And this, letting it be a man's world, as James Brown said, lead us to where we at and how things got to as worse as it is and going to get. Women, is because of those same men. So listen to this. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 9. Neither was man created for the woman, but woman for the man. Now watch this here. Then you go to Genesis 1 and verse 28. And Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, this is what he's telling them they purpose. Watch this here. For to be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over all the living things that move it upon the earth. This is why he created her and him and her. See, they took it out of what he said and made it what they want. Now this here, when you hear a bunch of men saying stuff like this along with the other things, you got to look at that. This does not match up with what was spoken in Genesis 1:26 all the way down to 31. It does not. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 8 and 9, for the man is not of the woman, for the woman is of the man. They got it wrong. Before the man was even created, Yah had already, the power of who he is and what he stood for had already, bam, spoken into existence. You see, he had already spoken into existence so that we won't be all screwed up about how we want to make the way he created to fit our needs. And they did it anyway. They made the whole creation to fit their needs. Now today, men thinking women is just a sex toy and how would I say it, cattle, like cattle, where they can sell and they can have as many as they want and do as they please. This is here is a rotten, male chauvinist, pride boosting, deceiving verses that was placed there just to keep us under their feet. When we are under their feet, that means they're on top of our head, standing on the top of our head, trying to keep on the top of the pole. So they stand on our head so that they can remain on the pole. That's why the Most High is sending message to you women when he's putting everything to category a woman. Everything about the way things is and going to be, he category everything a female entity, trying to get the males to see females like he see them. Trying to get the males to come back to the females the way he saw us as in him. He's trying to get them to love her like he loves the church by giving his only begotten son. He's been sending so many messages to where they are so tied up from tradition of their forefathers. They never thought when, okay, the first thing you say forefathers, first place they run is to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You can't run to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said you are your forefathers' children. Stiff-necked, rebellion, disobedient. Stiff-necked, rebellion, disobedient is not Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you got to understand, they got to understand they're really lost in so many areas because they call Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and they ride on them, but they fail to realize you are your father's children. The stiff-necked rebellion and everything he says in the new, he's telling them what their father did in the old, but these are not characteristic of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? But that's how they cover up everything. Now in 1 Corinthians 8 and 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 8 and 9, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. That's a lie. Neither was the man created for the woman. Yes, you were. Go back to Genesis. And Yah created man in his own image. And in the image Yah created he, him, male and female. He created them. This is the foundation, you guys. This is the foundation. The spirit and being created in one. So when he said a man leaves his mother and his father, meaning his flesh leaves his mother and father, find his wife, cling to her in flesh, and they become one spirit as they were taken out of Yah's image as a one spirit. They become one. See, and this is the will of the Father. That's why he said, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. But you would never know that in this day and time. The way you hear every mouth of these ugly men on these platforms, especially your Pastor Dow's. Anybody that follows that man, I really look. I don't even say I feel sad for him anymore, because it's been going on. These people are on here to manipulate the minds of the men to do evil, to think evil, to feel evil, to not have their household in order. They don't even understand when you stand before y'all gonna ask you about your seed. He's going to ask you about, well, what about your son? What did you do in your household? They don't think he is. They thinking he just going to you a Hebrew Israelite, good and faithful. No. They don't know the same one that created them. They don't know the order of who he is. Okay. So, and then in verse 9, it says, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. If you go back to Genesis and you read Genesis 1 and 27 and 28, look like he created them what he wanted to create them to be, together as one. He didn't create it. What they're saying is because he made man first. But you got to understand what also took place with man. Man was given that first commandment. But it doesn't mean that what this is saying, neither was man created for a woman, but woman for man. No. That there is a man. These are the sort of things that has been added into this book to manipulate men to continue to think that they got an upper hand on woman. And then in the beginning, he told them, I created them together and they have dominion over everything together. Even when they sinned, he said he should have ruler. That don't mean taking her dominion and who he placed her to be from the beginning. You have to understand what he means. And that's why I think it's kind of sad, because as he told me, Deborah, from the beginning, they've been messing it up from the beginning. That's why if you want to know something, Deborah, get back to the beginning. And I thank him for that. So let's go to 1 Timothy. So in here it's saying that man, as if man wasn't created for a woman, but the woman was created for him. No, they were created for each other. A man cannot have a child without the womb of a woman. So how is it she's created for him, but he's not created for her? Yah's thing is to produce, to multiply, and you can't multiply without one, without the other. So it says that in Genesis. Let's go there. Genesis 1, and let's see what he says here. Genesis 1 and 28, it says, and Yah blessed them and said unto them, male and female. This is what he said. Be fruitful and multiply. So how is it that man is not created for her and she is not created for him? Because how could one do without the other to bring what Yah said they are to do, and that is multiply? But it's only, he the one and she's got to be under him, and they done messed that up so bad to where I'm gonna be honest with you. I told the Father, I don't see how they can ever get back to truth in this. These women are so far off in the distance, not understanding this thing. It's sad. They are manipulated, not into captivity, but they under captivity to their own nation, males mindset, and that's on them. Okay, let's go to Timothy. That's on them, because Yah said he laid the foundation. And that is so true. He is so true about that. He laid the foundation. We're going to 1 Timothy. This is a bunch of horsewash that they are feeding. And they've been feeding it way back in Genesis. That's why it's like it is. When Adam had sinned. See, Adam had, the commandment was given to him. He had already sinned. That's why it was easy for him to be in the presence of her while she communed with the serpent, because he wanted her to be deceived, as he had already taken the deceiving, the disobedient of not taking of what was in the midst. He had already did it, so he wanted her. So why? Because they were one. Them, Yah called them. He leave her and her, they come one. So that's how it was said. It was. So he was waiting there for her to be deceived. Reason why is, even as a young teenager, I used to wonder, how did she add what Yah didn't say to Abraham? Only way she could have added that is Abraham told her when he said, he said, we are not to touch. Yah did not say that, because touching don't make nothing enter into you, into your spirit man. Okay? But hearing and seeing and thinking it into you, and it gets in you. So now you have allowed the sin to embed in you. She had already had allowed what Adam had lied to her, because Yah didn't tell him not to touch. Don't forget, she wasn't here. She wasn't even created when he told Adam not to eat of. So where she get, he even said we are not to touch it. That was a message for me to see that the sin had already hit somewhere in there. The sin was there before she was even tempted. It's just that the one that had already sinned brought her before the mess, so she can be deceived, so they can come into this thing as one. Okay, and that's how they did that. Okay, so we're going to 1 Timothy 2. Chapter 2, verse 12. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let's start with 11, then we'll hit 12 and 13. Now, this is where I'll be explaining to you all. You have to be able to understand what comes out of the mouth of Yah. Say, for instance, you really don't understand what's coming out of the mouth of Yah, but you take on to everything man says and you understand it, and you put it like it's really meaning something, you know. But what happens where you're feeding, as the forefathers and many have added into this book and has taken away, you all are eating out of it, and they're feeding you the same way, feeding you the same food on the plate. Our teachers, our seers, our Moors, our watchmen, our pastors, our prophets, our apostles, our prophets, they're feeding you a bunch of crap, and you're refusing to study under the Ruach. See, all you have to do is make yourself assured that I'm going to walk in faith and believing that Yah's going to bring this word to me in full force of what it stands for. And once you start to really be dedicated in that, Yah start to teach you himself through his spirit. Okay, now here we are in 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. That's man. That's man all up in there. Because did Yah say that? When you can find a verse in scriptures where Yah is saying these things, then he's saying it to you. But if you have not heard it come out of the mouth of Yah, you cannot apply this to yourselves, because there's something going on that has to do with Negro women having the gifts. I believe you are founded in the body of Hamashiach, so many of you all, to where you have given up because you feel that man has placed you in a freezer and told you to stay in there, and when you come out you're solid. And they're solid hard. They looking, they're not even taking care of themselves or trying to make themselves feel good for them, or any of that. If your flesh is going to the grave and you got one breath of life in which Yah has given you, you're going to live by the spirit, and then you ain't going to let the flesh be over controlling your spirit. Your spirit will teach you how to dress, eat, walk. It'll teach you not to be pride-minded, boosted. It'll teach you how to repent to Yah, how to repent to people that you've done wrong. It'll teach you all of that. But because y'all rather be up under the men versus Yah ain't going to stand by and let you. He's going to stand by and let you, because you have forsaken his spirit so it can lead and guide you. And you decide to have what man is teaching you, which a lot of it is a lies. Now listen to Timothy in here. 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 2. Let the women learn in silence with subjection. But you see here, he's telling you straightforward. This ain't nothing Yah said. I said this. Now, when should we follow man? Every time. Even in Corinthians, woman is not for man. Man is not for woman. Woman is for man. You don't find that in the Bible. That's not what it says. That is not what it said. Just because Yah took a bone from him and brought her to him, he was saying that man has. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna go into that one next. But let me just cover this one right here. And it says, verses 12 of 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach. I love that, because it's telling you now, Yah didn't say this. So it ain't no charge, it's no demand. You don't even have to be that. He said, I suffer you not. I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to insert authority over the man, but to be in silent. Now, that cannot outride have a dominion in Genesis, the first chapter. He said you got dominion over these things on the earth, everything. So if you are silent, what dominion do you have? It doesn't make any sense. Now watch this here, 13. And Adam was first formed, then Eve. That has nothing to do. It doesn't make, just because you first formed does not give you the right to insert, the right to say a woman is to keep, is to not teach, nor to insert authority over a man, but to be silent. And then turn around and say Adam was first formed, then Eve. And in verse 14 said, and Adam was not deceived, but woman being deceived was in transgression. Right there killed it all for me. Right there killed it all for me. Because they gave you what they wanted you to have. So that shows me how the men have been tampering with this book for quite a long time. I mean, since it exists, they have had their hands in it, switching it, getting power and authority over women. When Yah said at the beginning, see, if Yah hadn't set the ground, then yeah, they can get victory. And they have gotten victory. Without reading for themselves and seeing, Yah said, I give you dominion, male and female, over the earth. So what happened that men is only having the dominion? It doesn't make any sense. But they won't take you there. They won't take you there, nor would they allow you to stay in that. They will find verses to support their way and their technique and their religions that keeps them standing on top of your head. And the reason why I say they're standing on top of your head, without you, they can't do nothing. They can't do nothing. There's men right here today is on the download, on drugs and on alcohol, out on the streets, don't want to work, ain't worked in years, ain't seen their children, ain't took care of their children. Do they know that? Do the men on this devil platform do not understand how Yah got thousands of verses telling men what they are supposed to do with their children, and have none telling women? You know why? Because Yah had an order from the beginning. And they have switched the order by changing a lot of things. I hear the Hebrew Israelites and the tribe of Judah especially talking about what the white man and the heathens done. They do not understand the reason why Yah brought you to this land is because he gave you a taste of who you were. That's the only reason why you got over here and into the four corners. It's because he was giving you a taste of the way you were treating his woman and your strangers and your maid back in the days. And even in the days your forefathers have done so many wicked out of the order of Yah, out of the order, and think that ain't nothing gonna take place. A man is not gonna be able to stand before Yah come judgment and had no respect for his mother, had no respect for his grandmother, had no respect for his father, never honored neither one, always brought hardship and evil and wicked, disrespect, then turn around and had seeds and turn his back from them. Yah placed you in the order of a home, and because you refuse to do what you are said to be doing, you blame her, saying she the one getting welfare. She wouldn't have to get welfare if you were working and providing like Yah called you to do. But you all don't see that, and they're not going to. That's why they quick to manipulate the women. But where I see Yah is he's going to allow them, because women do not understand. Every time he destroyed men that had that wicked heart and did things out of his order, he destroyed their women and children along with it. So don't think you're going to go up to glory and follow a Hebrew Israelite man and talk about, you were submissive, or you got to be submissive, and then ain't been submissive under your own spirit. And he ain't submissive under his own spirit. Those are the only part of you and him that worship Yah. But you ain't under submission. Your flesh ruling everything. That's why they want to rule you in the flesh, so you can be lost to damnation in the spirit. And that's why Sister Deborah keep telling you all it's about your spirit. Now, here I like in 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 12, 13, and 14, because really this is all man-made. This is all man-made. And how you know, if once you go on the teaching of the Ruach HaKodesh and Yeshua HaMashiach have given the power therein, let me tell you something. You can't lose. You can't lose but to see all of what is right and what is wrong. You can't lose. You ain't perfect because you're still in this darkness of your flesh, but you can't lose by seeing what is righteous. You're not going to be under someone who ain't even got their flesh under the subjection to the part of them that worship Yah. You see, they trying to worship him in a spirit of their precepts, in not the spirit, in their fleshly of their precepts. They fleshly of their line here, little here, and all these other books. All this is for show. It's what you call their acting clothes on. And they're playing such a good role because they've been doing it their forefathers. That's why y'all always said the forefathers. He's been saying it for thousands of years and ain't nobody getting it. But I thank him for those that he knows that are getting it, because he's speaking and he's speaking loud. And in 1 Timothy 2, it's no such thing. This is man-made. Listen to what it said. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. You don't see that nowhere in the biblical coming out of the mouth of Yah. Nor do you see where verse 12, but I suffered a woman not to teach, nor to exert authority over a man to be in silence. That is not true either. Because what are you're speaking of? What authority? We have to pay bills. We have to take care of home. So somewhere, if you ever thought to, and that's why I tell people, Proverbs 31 is spirit. It's showing you, just like Yah is showing the men, all these female entity of how he love a nation. He's showing them, he's calling them, every female entity, to try to draw the minds of men in the right direction. And it's not working. It's not working at all. They can't see it. The woman running in the wilderness. You know what's so powerful is in Genesis where he says the woman seed. He's been trying to use this female entity to keep men on the path of unity with that woman. And that's what makes it 100 in righteousness. But they don't get it. They don't get it. But that's why he's going to use them. The women going to shout loud. They're going to speak, because they're going to realize they are in the body of Christ, not the body of man. You are not in the body of man. You are in the body of Christ. The Ruach HaKodesh is your true teacher. These men on these devil platforms is so addicted to control, pride, manipulation, and boosting that it's crazy. Okay? So all that in Timothy is just out the window, because when they said all of this here, what happened in Genesis chapter 1 verses 27? And God created man in his own image, and in the image God created him, male and female, he created them. See, they don't understand the power. Like I was telling y'all about the right hand. Y'all don't understand who us is. That's the power he's telling you. He's telling you in that power. And then verse 28 said, and Yah blessed them. And Yah said to them, now listen to this, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over. But how is it that a woman is so less in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 to 15? It doesn't make any sense. Even in 15 it says, notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith, charity, and holiness with sobering. That's all unnecessary. Because it's not the one that's not sober. It's he that's not sober. Whoremongers, switching wives, switching women, shedding blood through one wound to another, saying that this is the will of the Father. Did anyone ever think they talk about Jacob? What happened to Dan? Out of the 144. What happened to Jacob showed up and showed out before he died, telling you the type of rotten children he had? What happened when Jacob had to tell them to come together and they couldn't come together, and the Most High had to step in and tell them, gather yourself together and hear your father Jacob? Y'all had to come on the scene. That's showing you the 12 tribes ain't never been balanced. They have never been balanced. Nor are they balanced today. Bringing them over to this land that was likened to the way they portrayed themselves when they was in their land of honey, milk and honey. Y'all got tired of it. He said, I'm going to give you a taste of who you are, and I'm going to send y'all on the four corners and let someone else portray what you have portrayed unto me. Okay, let's go back to Genesis. We finna go there. So all this stuff that they didn't hear, manipulating the women with silence and all that, you better find who you are. That means you have a purpose. Before the foundation of the world, he knew you. He predestined you. He ordained you. So how can a man override that? Okay? Okay? And he said in the body of Hamashiach, one can't say to the other, you don't belong. Wait a minute. We both in this spirit. So one can't say to the other, you don't belong here. Letting you know the power of the body of Hamashiach, which the world calls Christ, Jesus Christ, but it's the body of Hamashiach. That means everything in that body, y'all have set it up, have given positions, have given authority, have given the powers and given gifts. And you don't see none of it performed. Why? Because man has tampered with the body of Hamashiach, even to today. We have laying hands. We have those who can interpret tongues. Those can interpret dreams. I know I can interpret tongues and dreams. But it's not manifest. It's not in. It's not helping a people that keep running around here hooping and hollering. We are the people. What good is it if you are the people and you ain't got sense enough to accept what Yah has anointed and appointed before the foundation of the world to work within you? So he allowing things to continue just as it is. Yeah, he's been done with the Gentiles. He still got to let something come up on you because you're still looking for something. Just like a lot of our men are gathering with guns. And I don't see nothing to me. I wouldn't see anything wrong with it. But anytime you gather without Yahuwah being the head, you messed up on the floor. That's all I can say. Because without my Father being the head of all things that anybody gathered to, you in for a rude awakening. But see, in the men heart, they look up there, they boosting. I want to join. I want to get guns. Yeah, you can get all that. But with me, as a prophetess in the wilderness, this is what I'm going to suggest to you. Grab all the weapons that's high power. Everything you possibly can. But you better lay them at the altar of the Most High Yah and ask him to lead and guide you. You better not pick them guns up to do nothing until you have laid them on the altar of the Most High Yah day and night, professing that he is the victorious one. He's the one that can defeat all things. And not be taking this upon yourself, because the minds of these people in this nation, oh, we in control. And they thinking that y'all gonna be for them. No. It's a lot in our men and our women that needs to be corrected. That needs to be judged. Must y'all take and branches separating the wheat and the tare? Don't you know when the seeds were thrown out, the sower who sowed the seeds knew that some of the seeds wasn't going to go in the area that it's supposed to bring forth fruit, that they would die. So all right, Sister Deborah, we're going now to Genesis. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 30. Genesis chapter 1, verse 30. Listen to this. And to every beast of the earth, and every fowl of the earth, and everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given green herbs for meat. And it was so. Right here where it says, it was so. It's something Yah said to seal what he mean is what he mean. What he said is what he said. So it's finished. So no matter what man has taken from Genesis on and twist and turn and wrote in and put in to try to keep manipulating women to be down to the ground. Women, you stay on that ground if you want to. But if I was you, if I'm not licking that ground in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, I was telling you I get my butt up. Because if you on that ground, you better be on there praying to the Most High Yah. Because they got you that low to where you don't even know what your purpose is. You don't even know if you have a purpose. And Yah let you rumble. He'll let you rumble with these men. Since you want flesh in the bed with you. You want flesh in the house with you. You want flesh teaching you. You want flesh telling you they the God. Because that's what they're doing on these platforms. They're making themselves God. And you ain't even worshiping your God in your spirit. Okay. Now, verse 31 is very powerful. It reads, Genesis 1 and 31. And Yah saw everything that he had made. And behold, it was very good. After Genesis 1 and 10, it was good. 1 and 12, it was good. 1 and 18, it was good. 1 and 21, it was good. 1 and 25, it was good. But when it came down to Genesis 1 and 31, right after he made man and told them they have dominion, he turned around and said it was very good. Now let's go there. Now we finna go where Adam is. Okay? Now, let's go to Genesis 2 and 18. Genesis 2 and 18. Genesis 2 and 18. And Yah said, now hear what he said versus when you go over in Timothy 1 and 2 and Timothy 1 chapter 2 verse 12 and 15. Nothing Yah said. That was all man. So how women applied that mess to them? Why are you going to apply that to him yourself? Y'all didn't say that. Why is you going to apply a 1 Corinthians 11, chapter 11, verse 8 and 9? Why would you apply that to you? A lot of this stuff you got to kick to the curb because it's all flesh. Flesh been added into all of this. So you got to be able to try to line up spirit so you'll know what is spirit and truth. And you'll know what comes out of the mouth of Yah versus what come out of the mouth of man. They put on the coat of man and walk around in 100 degrees. And their spirit man is, how would you say it, suffocating. Okay. Now, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And Yahuwah said, it is not good. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. Why is Yahuwah saying it's not good? Because he knows when he created everything at the foundation, he created it to be him and her. But when he looked out and saw man not having the better part of who he created, the other part, he said, it's not good. He's showing you that I called everything to be in Genesis 1. But when I see it before me, I see something that's not good. Even though I called it good in Genesis 1 and 31. Not only did I call it good, I call it very good. He was saying that which I created and spoken to the power of existence was so good to where when I saw it halfway done, hey, hold up, man don't look good. It is not good for man to be alone. But do you see him making her? No, he continued to make the beast of let's go. And he said, he said in 18, Genesis 2 and 18, and Yah said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmate. Did you know there are 99.9 of these men on this devil platform telling these women to kick these women to the curb? You don't need them. Because see, that's what exactly is going to happen. Because what a lot of the men didn't understand is when you kick these women to the curb, that leads you to men on men. That's why I'm trying to figure out why you see a lot of these men embracing each other in a way you ain't never seen men coming that close on each other. You know? A lot of this in the closet and out of the closet. A lot of people don't even know those that's on these pulpit, on these devil platforms. I can sit and discern those that are funneling with me, and I have that spirit of discerning. I can see who is. And I'm sitting here just listening. I'm like, wait a minute. But then they bashing the women. Men that bash women has had a hard time with grandma, mama, daddy, sister, and some woman, woman that they really, really loved, then crushed their world and left them on the side. So they bash women to the third degree because they figure all of them are like that. They ain't no good. But you all need to learn who that woman was in the beginning, that Yah created in his likeness and his image. Women, did he create you? Not the image of man. You are the flesh. The same dirt he came from, you came from. But don't forget, all the animals came from there too. Okay? All the animals came from that same ground. Okay, let's read. Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. And Yahuwah said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a help meet for him. For him. Him being alone, he's going to make him a help meet for him. A help meet. That's the same thing he's saying here. Help meet where? So that what? Verses 28. Genesis 1 and 28. And Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, be fruitful. He needs a helpmate. Multiply. He needs a helpmate. He needs to replenish. He needs a helpmate. Replenish the earth. Subdue it. He needs a helpmate. And have dominion over the fish of the sea and the fowls, the air, and over all living things on the that moves upon the earth. He needs a helpmate. He needs someone to help him. Now, if y'all didn't think he needs someone to help to meet these criteria here, you guys, that rest in the power of the Most High Yah from the beginning. Before any Adam was even created, he sealed this in. Okay? So this is where he needs a helpmate. It wasn't that he needs a sexual or lust or woman to be able to enter in. Yah wasn't saying that as you all are taking it. He was saying that as for a help meet. That does not mean that sexual lust or a woman to do what he tell him, a woman till he can control, a woman can be submissive under him. That's not what Yah is saying. And as you read on, what happened in verse 19? Let me get my book back together. And out of the ground Yah formed every beast. See, he didn't instantly go make him a helpmeet. He went and he out of that same ground he brought Adam out. The same ground most likely he brought woman out. But Adam wasn't calling these here beasts flesh of my bones, bones of my. He can call them bones, her bones, but flesh, they all came from the ground. Even these here animals. In verse 19. And out of the ground Yah formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the earth and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call him. And whatsoever Adam called every animal creature was the name thereof. Now watch this here, verse 20. And Adam gave names to all the cattle and all the fowls of the air, to every beast of the field. But Adam's there was not found a help meet. Y'all doubled that verse so y'all can understand men. The reason what he had to help meet the criteria in which Yah created man and woman, male and female. That's what he was supposed to help. She was created for. Not all this lust and all this fantasy, because if so, you wouldn't understand this here verse right here. Okay? Look at Genesis chapter 2 and verse 25. And they were both naked, and man and his wife were not ashamed. Because they wasn't caught up in like men today, sick minds think it's all about. That the woman's supposed to be so submissive, she's supposed to do any and everything for him. These men do not understand how they have taken the natural use of a woman and has made it out of the order in which Yah has created. And they say it's okay. They don't see nothing wrong with it. Doing a lot of abomination things to a woman that you ain't got no business doing, because that's not what he created her for. And even in Genesis, when I used to challenge the fact that why are you talking about both of them naked? Who cares? You know, what he was explaining to me is he wants me, a lot of people would drive that to being a sinless. No, he's talking about the body was naked. He's talking about the body was naked, and what they are today is out of the order, because your body never was created to carry on the way that it's carrying on today in its lust and the desire of porno and masturbating and all this stuff that you're doing. This never was Yah's idea for men. So here he's telling men nor women. Okay, so here he's just showing you how important that you look at the both were naked. If I created him as a creation and put him out there like that, what makes you think that what they're doing today is the way I created it? And that's what I gave you a woman for it to be about her body. Why do our men feel that a woman that's really anytime a woman can weigh more than a man, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for a man to want a woman to be big, and they don't understand that these women has to grow up. They have to raise these children and be active. You can't be all this and that and you running around here getting as big as these men telling you to, because all you want is somebody to look at you. You want to appear to a man, and that's the only way you feel you can get them to look. These women are looking like who did it and what for, if they just to get them to look. And then you have those that think they in a religion and following a religion criteria and ain't following nothing spirit and truth, trying to look like they humble, trying to dress like they holy, and trying to appear on these playing role clothes. I call them role playing clothes. That stuff don't mean nothing to y'all. He sees you. He sees straight through you. He sees your nakedness in the form in which he can see. That's what he sees. So all this other role playing and carrying on ain't going nowhere in nothing. So we're gonna go to Genesis 2:23. Let's go to Genesis 2:23. Listen to this. And Adam said, "This is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Okay? Because she was taken out of man. This is what Adam called her, because he felt bone of her bone, but I don't know where the flesh came in. Both of them was formed on the ground. But Yah didn't show us how he formed her. He didn't, he just wanted us to know the bone was connected to what man had. So man called her bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. But the Bible does not say that he formed her from the ground. But where we got to understand, none of that, all that is darkness. All that is fleshly. We got to go to the grill of it. We got to go to the nitty gritty of it. And what is the nitty gritty? Genesis 1. Chapter 20. Genesis chapter 1. Verse 26. And Yah said, "Let us make man in our image." So the woman was made in the image of Yah. Man was made in the image of Yah, and in our likeness. And let them have dominion. So the likeness in the image of Yah is a spirit. That's why he didn't weigh heavy on the fact that they were naked. And they didn't weigh heavy on the fact that they were naked. Because this thing was about what was in them, which was spirit. Okay? And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Flesh. Okay? And then it says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to her his wife, and they shall become one flesh. One flesh. Now, how can several wives become one flesh? Can somebody answer that? And a lot of people would say, when they can have them, they talk about one flesh is a child. No. A man leaving already a wife, a male and a female, which is mother and father, and shall cleave unto his wife. And they, which he cleaved to, shall become one flesh. How can a man become one flesh with several wives? They would try to tell you that it's having babies. Having that one flesh, having them babies. Don't be fooled, women. Don't be naive. This is the order Yah had called. This is the order Yah had called, and man has taken it out of the order. Yah has called this order. I want you to go to Proverbs 19. And this here counts, this goes up against also something that's very powerful that has been said. Proverbs 19 and 14. 19 and 14. House and riches are the inheritance of the fathers. House and riches are the inheritance of the father. And a prudent wife is from Yah. A prudent wife is from Yah. Now, what is a prudent wife? Somebody that has understanding. You know what understanding is? The Holy Spirit. At all you're getting, get understanding, because the Holy Spirit comes to give you all understanding. And that's what a prudent wife is. That's why she's from Yah. So, a house and riches are an inheritance of a man, of a father, which is the flesh of a man. And a prudent wife is from Yahuwah. See? So, if this woman is a prudent wife from Yah, and prudent mean understanding and wisdom, what good is it if she's just supposed to shut up? What good is her to be to this husband if she's supposed to keep quiet and silent in the church or anywhere and walk around letting the man have full authority and her not saying anything? None of these platforms mean nothing to me until I see the women step in. None of them is going to mean anything to me. If not, I can actually continue to teach that it is demonic and it's full of Satanism, witchcraft, and evil. For them to get on these platforms and not have the women voice to be heard, especially if they are in the body of Hamashiach. It doesn't take a man to tell a woman she's not supposed to speak and her voice is not to be heard. It takes Yahuwah. If he hasn't told you to shut your mouth, women, and to keep quiet, if you don't hear these orders coming, these men are coming out of the mouth of Yah. I ain't talking about every time you turn around it's a man, they can precept a man saying the woman's supposed to do this. Yah's supposed to have some say so. And it's in the beginning where he said, when he created them in his image and in his likeness, and he told them they had dominion. That ain't going nowhere. I don't care what they take in these books and how many other verses they get, how many other books they lost without a cause. So, a prudent woman is one that has the understanding and the wisdom, and she is from Yah. Let's go to Proverbs. Let me see if that's 18. Is that 18 and 22? 18 and 22. Proverbs 18 and 22, it says, whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtain favor of Yahuwah. Do you think Yah wants you to find a wife of a good thing for her to be sitting around wrapped up, just doing everything you tell her to do? She's submissive, doing all the working, You got her on food stamps to bring food to the house and everything while you walking around here thinking you a king and a leader and you a ruler. Because you got a big old camp full of a cult and don't understand y'all going to let those heathens and Gentiles be the first place they come to you. Bragging about what you got and how you going to stand up and what you going to do. Ain't proclaiming no safety from Yah. And that's another thing, women. If these men ain't proclaiming the safety of the Most High Yah, and you don't see them praying and fasting, you don't see them in the closet crying out for their families and crying out and pouring out, Father Yah, or if you don't see them doing that, women, you totally out of order when you sitting up under them, letting them get full dominion over you. And then therefore you ain't even observing that which Yah has placed in you, your calling. So I, Sister Deborah, would want to say to you all, it's high time, females, to answer your calling. If you're in the body of Hamashiach, if you're in the body of Christ, go back to the verses that tells you about the body of Christ. This thing is spirit. This walk is spirit. This talk is spirit. Everything is spirit and truth. While these men got you walking around here playing fleshly roles, looking fleshly in everything. Did you know they talk about pedophiles, but if you do your study back in the old, you'll hear the pedophiles so heavy back in the Israelites and the tribe of Judah. You would find them to be there. You will find every sin that they sit and say that apply to the heathens today rests within them. So I, Sister Deborah, say I hope you enjoyed this message. I hope it wasn't too long for you, but I hope you got something out of it. And women, you need to find your purpose and get busy. Be about the Father's business. And believe it or not, it would help these men. It would lead you. You got to let your light shine. Your spirit got to shine through your flesh. Let your light shine. And if he see your light shining, you can sanctify him through you. But you ain't going to sanctify nothing sitting up under him, got him dictating your outer appearance. And, I see women tied up and wrapped all up and hiding. And I'm like saying, these men's messing with babies. They looking at the tails of babies. They having little boys. They having little girls. While these women all wrapped up, trying to make somebody think somebody looking at them. Ain't nobody trying to look at you. Because no matter how you wrapped up, you covering your flesh. What Yah is after what's in your spirit. So cover that flesh up all you want. That's a game. That's a game play. So I, Sister Deborah, say to you, shalom and shalom. Enjoy your Sabbath day, and I love you.